I've swallowed that whole.
So I will call the April 11th Timnath Liquor Board meeting to order. Chairperson Mark Sukup.
Here.
Co-chair Brett Hansen.
Here.
Commissioner Lisa Lake. Here. Commissioner Robert Oxmacher.
Present.
Commissioner Luke Wagner.
Here.
Melissa.
What you have before you is a new beer and wine liquor license for the come and go that's going in on the corner of Harmony and Club. It's a pretty standard application. It goes through us. I know the majority of you have not been through a liquor hearing before. So we use the state forms. It goes through you guys first, and if it's approved, then it goes down to the state. State is currently reviewing it also, and I have not heard from them with any issues with the application. Everything that's required is in there, and they've provided. I have Cole Judge from Come and Go to answer any questions if needed, and I also have Eva with Liquor Pros, I think, up in the sky. Liquor Pros did the needs and desires petitioning where they go throughout the neighborhoods and go door to door and see how people feel about that. And their report is in the packet. Everything is included. Everything meets state statute, and I would recommend approval. Do you have any questions?
Council. Okay. Any discussion? Anybody have? Okay. All right. Do you have a problem, Carol? Okay.
No.
So,
Do you have any questions for the applicant?
don't think we
Okay.
do.
It is a public hearing, but I don't have anyone signed up to speak.
Does anybody want to speak for on the come and go issue? Okay. Do you want to close the public
The
hearing?
public hearing is closed at 6:04. And all I need is just a motion to either approve or disapprove.
So do I have a motion to approve the come and go beer and wine liquor license?
So moved.
Robert? Will you do a second? Okay. Luke, do you want to do a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Say nay. Okay. The motion carries unanimously.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Just
Anything
need a
else?
motion to adjourn and then we can go on town
Okay.
council.
Could I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. The That closed, so now will you call to order the council meeting?
Yes, I will call the April 11th Town Council meeting to order. Mayor Mark Sukup,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brett Hansen.
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Lake. Here. Councilmember Robert Oxmacher.
Present.
Councilmember Luke Wagner.
Here.
Okay, any amendments to the agenda? Public comments.
We have Bill Jenkins.
Okay.
Dr. Bill Jenkins, 5507 Sugarloaf Court. In recent filings related to the Ladera development, there's a request under regional commercial to alter the land use codes from a building height limit of 40 feet to a building height of 65 feet. This represents a 62% height increase over the land use code standards for RC. This is requested for Lot 3, Block 2, a 2-acre lot east of Wetzel Road, closer to the Poudre River than the proposed Topgolf site. This site has been designated as a multi-story, likely 6 stories hospitality or hotel site. There's no need for a 6-story hotel so close to the Poudre River. Most hotels along Harmony Road in Fort Collins are only 3 to 4 stories. Given the extensive concerns expressed by Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Audubon Rockies, Audubon of Fort Collins, EDM's wildlife studies, the I-25 design standards and the land use codes, why would such a height variance or waiver ever be considered? Why has there not been any response from the developer about these wildlife concerns? There's no rational basis presented for a 6-story hotel near the Poudre River. Also, there are multiple additional requests in a series of PD site documents. For example, current code says at least 50% of the horizontal distance of any building front shall be designed with arcades, windows, entrances, awnings, and similar features. The developer is requesting a reduction to 4%. Current code also calls for retail facades shall be glazed with clear glass no less than 30% of the first story. And it goes on about other possible treatments. The developer is requesting to completely eliminate this requirement. Do we want another situation like the large liquor store going in on Harmony with no windows on 3 sides and minimum windows on the front? Land use code under open space requirements call for a minimum of 25% of the gross land being subdivided as functional open space, and the developer is requesting a reduction to 20%. In all of these multiple requests for changes in the land use code, no comments have been entered by the planning department and no reasons have been presented by the developer that would justify.
10 seconds.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Melissa?
No other comments.
Okay. Consent agenda. Any comments?
I would like to remove item 4C from the consent agenda.
Let's see. So do you want to make that a motion? So
Yeah, I would move to approve the consent agenda with item 4C removed.
do I have a second to that motion? Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Agenda item 4C is moved to our business. Any other comments on consent agenda? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda with as amended.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the consent agenda as amended has been approved unanimously. Reports, council.
Just note that Town Cleanup Day is scheduled for May 13th, which is always popular. So I'll make sure everyone knows about that.
Hey, Kim, don't we have a council chat coming up real close?
Well, we also have the safety fair coming up as well on April 29th.
May 11th, yeah.
I
wanted to
have it as
make
the
sure we got that
4th in
on.
my,
Pardon?
I have it as May 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was close. Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Anybody else? I got a envelope showing up today that was really sweet. As you know, I did National Reading Day at Timnath and did the 5th grade, and I got a bunch of thank you cards and thank you notes and stuff. And like one, I'll just read a real quick one. Thank you for reading to us about Rembrandt and his life. And here's what amazed me. I gave them 4 choices: Magic School Bus, everything else. They wanted Rembrandt. You know, when I was in 5th grade, I didn't know who Rembrandt was. So I was pretty impressed. I also enjoyed learning about his famous pictures and how he dressed everybody in the picture in whatever he wanted. I also learned about your job and what your responsibilities are. Also, thanks for the autograph. They were the cutest kids, smart, cute kids. So we're lucky to have them in Timnath. So I thought I'd pass that on. Business. Any further council comments? Okay. Business resolution number 29, series 2023, a resolution approving the Harmony subdivision 7th filing, final plat.
This will be me.
Jack.
Yes.
I got
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you,
paper
council
off.
members. This is a final plat application for the Harmony subdivision 7th filing. The owner is Paragon Investment LLC, represented by Byron Collins and Mark Tingey. The applicant is JR Engineering, represented by Ken Merritt. The subject property is generally located north of Harmony Road and east of Club Drive. Access to this filing will come from an existing stub at the northwest property line or boundary line of the property. This is a final plat proposal for Harmony subdivision 7 filing. The final plat proposes to provide 15 residential lots within 10.4 acre site that is zoned commercial mixed use. Of the 15 proposed lots, 14 are intended to be constructed as duplex or single family attached dwellings, while 1 is a single family detached dwelling. The gross density for this area will be 1.43 dwelling units per acre, complying with the CMU zoning district in the recently amended Harmony Plan Development Overlay. This plat is proposing approximately 7.1 acres of open space, or roughly 68% of the site, exceeding the town's open space requirement of 20%. In addition, the 7th filing will provide approximately 2.4 acres of residential lots. The lot sizes proposed in this plat will range from 5,416 square feet to 13,311 square feet, which would be the single family detached lot at the southwest portion of the site. With an average lot size of approximately 6,970 square feet. Per section 2.9.4 of the land use code, staff posted a development under review sign on the property and mailed public hearing notices for tonight's meeting to the property owners within 500 feet of the proposal. This application was presented to the Timnath Planning Commission on March 21st, where they recommended approval by unanimous vote. This application was reviewed against the approved Harmony Preliminary Plat Amendment number 6, Harmony PD Overlay, Timnath Land Use Code Technical Criteria Manual, and the approved master plan for the Harmony subdivision. Therefore, staff is moving to recommend approval for item 6A, the Harmony subdivision 7th filing final plat. With that, I will turn it over to Ken if you'd like to add anything to that.
Presley, one of these days I'll remember to do that. Thank you, Matt. You were so discreet. Press the
I
button.
thought you did it on purpose.
Chad did a great job of introducing the project. Doesn't leave me much to say, so I'll try to be quick about it. We all know where the property is located. This is within the CMU zone of the Harmony subdivision. The property is located just north of Harmony Road, between Club Drive and Harmony Road. To the northeast boundary of the project is the Harmony First Fairway, and to the southwest portion of the property, it's the Lake Canal borders our southwest property line. Access to the property would be off of Club Drive, as Chad had mentioned. The total number of lots is 15 lots, 14 of which are paired residential attached products. Those are shown in the light tan color. The one darker brown color is one single family detached residential lot, which will be of a similar character and quality of the paired residential units. The property is approximately 10.4 acres, of which approximately 7.1 acres is open space. That's correct. 68% of the site is open space. There's a significant number of physical obstacles on the property, with two Greeley water lines, the Lake Canal itself, which is within our boundary, and some other open space areas. So it's a challenging project to even bring about 15 lots. I'll kind of leave it there, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have this evening of me.
Thanks. Questions? Robert?
Yeah, Chad, so this was zoned CMU, and then there's a PD overlay that kind of changed that a little bit.
Yes.
Can you take me in the Wayback Machine and kind of remind me what some of those PD overlay changes would have been that modified the CMU there?
Yeah, so for the CMU, they really just modified the front and rear yard setbacks. They increased those, and they also allowed for the use of that single family detached, which is not in our land use code allowed within or permitted within the CMU district, but that was requested and approved in that PD overlay. So mostly just minor dimensional standards to kind of create such a single family unit as this.
Gotcha. And then whoever can best answer this, kind of what was the need, or what was the idea behind that single lot that is a single residence and not a duplex?
Simply a matter of available space on the property. You can see that one single lot is actually wedged between the Greeley water line to the northwest and the Lake Canal easement to the southeast. So it was not big enough for a paired residential product, but it will, the architectural development standards for Harmony are pretty rigorous and robust. And so that particular home, although it will be a single family residence, will be similar in character and quality to the other homes within the development that are paired. And actually the mass of the paired residential units as a pair will be, the mass will be similar. The single family home will actually be fairly similar in mass as the two units together. So good question. Thank you, Mr. Councilman.
Appreciate that background. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Well, I have one question, Mr. Mayor. Can I get an autograph too before I leave? Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. It's all right. It's on. Thank you, Robert.
On and off.
Do I have a motion to?
Mayor, this is a.
Oh, this is a public
hearing. Yeah.
meeting. Yep, that's right. Thank you. So can you call the public hearing to?
Yes, I call the public hearing open at 6:21. There are no comments, and I will close the public hearing at 6:21.
Do I have a motion on resolution number 29, series 2023, a resolution approving the Harmony subdivision 7th filing final plat?
I move to approve the Harmony subdivision 7th filing final plat with the condition of allowing staff to work with the owner applicant to address minor non-substantive modifications prior to final signatures.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 6B, resolution number 30, series 2023, a resolution approving the second amendment to the consolidated service plan for Trailside Metropolitan District numbers 1 through 6, formerly known as Rendezvous Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 5. Carolyn.
Thank you. So we have been, there has been submitted to the town, the second amendment to the service plan. And as the mayor noted, this is for Trailside Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 6. They were previously named Rendezvous Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 5, but due to a conflict with other districts in the state that had a similar name, they went through a name change through a court order and now are officially called the Trailside Metropolitan Districts. The town originally approved the service plan for these Trailside Metropolitan Districts in March of 2018 and approved as first amendment to the service plan also in 2018, in August of 2018. The proposed amendment would allow for organization of a 6th metropolitan district. So far, 5 have been organized, and it would also add future inclusion area so that the 6th district would encompass this new inclusion area. The new inclusion area constitutes the Duraley property. And it is, I think that the applicant here will be able to show you a map to show you where that new location would be. But it is, would allow the inclusion of that approximately 34 acres into the boundaries of a new district that would be coordinated with the other Trailside Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 5. The applicant is not asking for any changes to the authorizations of the existing metropolitan districts. The existing metropolitan districts 1 through 5 were authorized to issue over $49 million of debt. The debt cap was $49,829,000. And they are not asking for an increase in that debt limit. And I understand that they are not planning to come back and ask for another amendment to ask for an increase in that debt limit, that they feel that that debt limit is high enough to allow for additional debt to be issued to pay for the public improvements on the Duraley property. And the mill levy limits are the same as what would be already existing for 1 through 5. For a residential property, that is a mill levy limit of 50 mills, subject to adjustment for any changes in the mill levy assessment process from and after 2018, the date of the original approval of the service plan. They also, and it could go up as high as 60 mills if the debt to assessed ratio is less than 50% of the district's assessed value. They also have in the service plan authorization to do an operations and maintenance fee of up to $1,000 per platted lot for residential development and a one-time capital improvement fee of $2,000 per residential home. the way the districts are set up right now, they use most of their debt authorization or all of it to pay for the debt and or most of their mill levy authorization, excuse me, to pay for the debt. And they do finance most of their operations and maintenance through that fee. So staff is recommending approval of the second amendment to the service plan because it doesn't increase the mill levy rates or the debt authorization, but allows additional property and additional residential development to help pay for that existing authorized debt. And there's some efficiency to being run coordinated with the existing metropolitan districts. I am now open to any questions.
Okay, no questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you guys want to say anything about? I think we've read everything, so just bring up new topics. Right on, yes, thank you. There's a little face. If you hit that face, there you
There
go.
you go. So Mr. Mayor and council members, my name is David O'Leary. I'm from the law firm of Spencer Fain in Denver. We did the original service plan for this project. From a 30,000 foot view, it's an additional property to the south, about 34 acres, as Carolyn had indicated. There's efficiencies in having this property included into the existing set of districts and provide same and similar infrastructure. A lot of the core infrastructure is already in, but there'll be consistency of the covenants, enforcement, all the operations. It's right adjacent to the existing property as well. It wasn't contemplated during the original formation. They just closed on the property in January, and the plat has been submitted. It'll be considered for approval here at City Council sometime in the near future, but it has been submitted. Again, no increases in mill levies, no reduction in services. There is a different owner of the property, but it's all affiliated with the same developer. So we intend to continue within the parameters of the existing service plan. No increases in debt or capital are necessary in order to get things done.
Does anybody have any questions for him? Okay, you just go ahead and sit down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do I have any questions from this council? Okay, Melissa.
I will open the public hearing at 6:28. There are no comments. I will close the hearing at 6:28.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
I will go make one comment that from what I can tell in the reports here, it does look like that, yes, we don't see any intent to change any of the financing or the mill levies or the fees that are charged to residents. But I do simply want to state that if there ever were a reason to change that, my expectation would be there would be a resident controlled Metro District board that would come in and make that request before I'd be willing to consider it, just to make sure that that is known.
Okay, thanks, Brett. Anybody else? Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 30, series 2023, a resolution approving the second amendment to the consolidated service plan for Trailside Metropolitan Districts numbers 1 through 6, formerly known as Rendezvous Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 5.
I move to approve resolution number 30, series 2023, a resolution approving the second amendment to the consolidated service plan for the Trailside Metropolitan District numbers 1 through 6, formerly known as Rendezvous Metropolitan Districts numbers 1 through 5.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Resolution number 27, series 2023, a resolution amending deferral of building permit fee agreement. Lisa.
Good evening. What you have before you is a resolution to amend an agreement. In 2019, an agreement was entered into between the town and Backyard Bird to defer their building permit fees. And over time, we would apply 25% of their sales tax towards that building fee debt. That term expires in October, and based on their current outstanding balance, the owners are requesting a 4-year extension based on the balance due, which is approximately $10,000.
Anybody have any questions for Lisa? Okay. I would think, since this is on consent, I would think the petitioner would have the chance to say something, right?
Yes, you can definitely let the petitioner.
Excuse me?
Yes, you may let them speak. if they're
Okay,
here.
so Backyard Bird,
Matt Smith,
Nicole Smith.
business address 64, or sorry, 4650 Cedar Tree Drive. And then we're also the residents of Timnath, 6434 Cloudburst Avenue. I mean, the short and simple of it was that when we first agreed upon the deferment, we were more than anticipating that we'd have that paid off in the time frame that we were given. Unfortunately, we haven't paid it off via the 25% sales tax. And yeah, so it just, things weren't as profitable as we've been hoping for and as busy as we've been hoping for over that time frame.
We opened on February 9th of 2020, and then the world shut down in March. That wasn't in our business plan.
That's all we got. Yeah.
does anybody have any questions for him?
No.
Okay. Brett.
Yeah, the reason I pulled this off the consent agenda is I just wanted to propose amending it with one slight modification. What I'm not interested in doing is trying to push something, that would push financial hardship on the business owners here. What I'm looking at is a modification that would help make sure we're not in a similar position in 4 years for whatever reason. My proposal that I'd like to suggest to the council is that we put a $200 monthly minimum amount on what should be collected through that. And what I mean by that is if there's enough sales tax revenue covered where that 25% covers $200, then everything goes on normal as proposed in the staff packet. If there's a little shortfall there, then that would need to be covered month by month. And that way we simply avoid a situation where, in 4 years, there's still $4,000 or $5,000 outstanding for whatever reason, if that were to happen. And I feel like that $200 amount is a very conservative amount that, over the 4 years, that wouldn't cover the outstanding balance. It's a pretty low bar, I think. You would have to be $800 of sales tax revenue collected in a month to be able to have this condition essentially never even come into play, which would be my expectation. That's the report from the staff. That's the numbers provided from the business owners. But I think it would be helpful to everybody if we just help make sure this is a little bit systematized. And if it ever does come into play, it seems like it'd be a fairly trivial amount that would be applied. So with that, I would like to move to amend Resolution 27, Series 2023, with the condition that a $200 monthly minimum amount be collected as part of getting through this permit fee.
Anybody else?
I think that it's reasonable, makes sense. I'm curious if the applicant has any thoughts on that proposal.
If you'd like to step up and make comments.
We haven't talked about this yet. Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, no, I agree. It makes total sense. And the goal and the hope is that, I mean, based on the numbers that the staff gave too, is that we would definitely within 3.5 years, it would be paid off if our numbers stayed as is, which obviously that is not our goal. And hopefully there's not another pandemic. Yeah. So yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Robert, Lisa?
So this isn't specific to that, but it did remind me that many months ago, we as a council had talked about hearing back from staff about options related to small business incentives. So I just wanted to throw that out there as potentially us prioritizing that within, the next month or two. Obviously, you don't need to reply on that now, but just something that I would really like us as a council to revisit and look at as more businesses are coming into Timnath right now.
Okay, no need to comment. Anybody else? Oh, it's all lit up over there. Go ahead,
So,
Luke.
Brett, I want to thank you for bringing this forward and doing the work behind it. And I agree. I think that it's a fair proposal. And I think it's I'm glad to see that the applicant has agreed to it. So thank you, Brett.
Yeah, I'll just comment that it's my expectation, hope as well, that it never even factors in. And if it does, it's like I said, it's a small amount. So Carolyn, my understanding would be I would need to make a motion to amend the resolution. We'd vote on the amendment and then we'd vote and then we do another motion on the resolution as amended. Is that the procedural?
I'm comfortable actually, if you want to have it as one motion, to have
Okay.
a motion to approve the resolution with the modification that there be a minimum payment of $200 per month.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that and I'll defer you to lead us.
Pardon?
I'll defer you to lead us here whenever you would like a motion.
All right, not yet.
Okay.
So, but first, because first off, as you guys know better than we do, you're the only restaurant we have in town. So we desperately want to make sure you're successful, and we're trying. We backed this up once before on it, and we're trying to make it so that it's doable for you on it going forward. So, we're very conscious and empathetic to small business. I mean, I ran a small business. My dad ran a small business. I get the issues involved with running a small business, and we want to help any way we can. So, with that, you got some more.
In addition to all the other restaurants that we actually do have in Timnath as well. You mentioned it was the only restaurant that we had in Timnath. So I just wanted to.
Individually owned. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm supportive of this. Certainly no one could have anticipated the pandemic, and quite frankly, I'm glad you have weathered that. I was in your shop maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, had a chicken dinner, and y'all threw in some donuts for free. So appreciated that. Appreciate you taking care of the community. I think this makes sense, Brett. I like your idea of the $200 minimum, just to make sure that this doesn't go on forever. So I'll support this.
Okay. Brett, do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve resolution 27 series 2023, resolution amending deferral of building permit fee agreement with the modification of a $200 monthly minimum requirement.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. We got a first and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I see nothing further on the agenda. Okay. It's sort of bouncing all over. It's like hopscotch. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.